Okay, so the recording system is working now, so I've just started the recording for you. We record all of our flights. At the moment, this shows you whatever the camera's looking at this stage is this one here, so you can give us a little wave hello to the camera before we go if you like. And then we'll get going. It'll be facing to the outside for most of the flight as we go along, just to capture all of the scenery. I'll just do one more check before we go. You're just going to hear a little alarm go off in a moment. That's just me checking one of our emergency systems is working. And then we'll get going. That's that little alarm just there, so it's all good to go. That means it's working. And we'll get going.
Awesome. Wow.
As we come over the coast here, guys, we're going to split the Apostles into two separate groups. We're going to have 5 out to our left-hand side, which we're looking back towards the viewing platform there. We'll see those again on the way back. And there's going to be 2 passing down our right-hand side to begin with. So there are only 7 Apostles remaining today, and in case you didn't know, there was never actually 12 of them. There was only ever 8. 12 Apostles, just the name that they were given to give it a bit of an iconic name. But yeah, there was only ever 8 of them, and there's now just the 7 remaining today. So this is Apostle number 2, passing down our right-hand side now, with the pointy top just there. And then number 1 is up ahead. That's that large one there with the flat grassy top. And that is the largest out of all of the Apostles.
Cool.
So as we continue on to the Bay of Islands, all these other rocks and features along the way here all have their own unique names. So we'll run through those as we fly along, but they're not part of the Apostles. The Apostles are all behind us now. And we'll yes, talk about those a bit later on when we come back. So these 2 rocks just here next to each other are called the Twin Sisters. And then the taller one just to the left of those with the pointy tops, that is called the Salt and Pepper Shakers.
Ah, cool.
And then we have the long skinny rock stack just there next to the cliffs with the viewing platform behind it. That is called Razorback Ridge. And then we have a large grassy island coming up just here. This is called Muttonbird Island. This one is named after the muttonbird itself, and they will migrate here once a year, all the way from up near Alaska, over 30,000 kilometres away.
Wow.
And we can have up to 12,000 birds nesting on the island down there at one time. This triangular shaped rock stack just over here, near the cliffs there, that is called the Baker's Oven. And it's called that because it has a little archway just underneath it there, and sailors and fishermen over the years, back in the day, they thought that resembled a wood-fired oven or a pizza oven, so they decided to all start calling it the Baker's Oven, and the name just sort of stuck from there.
Cool.
I'm good.
Sure.
Hang on.
This large rock stack coming up here, this is called Sentinel Rock. This This one is the largest rock stack in the Port Campbell National Park. Stands up to around 200 feet tall, which is about 65 metres, or roughly the size of a 20-storey building. And you get a better idea as to how big these rocks and cliffs are as we fly along, instead of judging them from where we are, because we're up quite high as well. We can just compare them to the size of things like the cars along the road there, and you can see how small the cars are compared to the cliffs and the rocks.
Wow, yeah.
Gives you a much better idea as to how big they are. But yeah, we're about 160 metres above the water at the moment, so everything does look quite small from up here.
It does look small.
And we're probably, at the moment with the wind on the nose, at the moment we're probably doing around 130 kilometres an hour across the ground or across the water. On the way back we'll be doing well over 200 kilometres an hour with the wind behind us. There's a bit of a heavy shower up ahead there towards the Bay of Islands. It does look kind of clear as we go along, so we'll just see how we go. As we fly along, we may have to turn back if the weather does get a bit too, if the showers do get a bit too thick and we can't, I can't see at a certain distance in front of me.
That's
just
fine.
just for the safety, we may have to turn around, but otherwise we'll keep on pressing on. This little town just over here is called Port Campbell. It's a nice little quiet coastal town. Home to about 600 or 700 permanent residents, so they stay pretty quiet in the winter time, and when the weather's sort of like this, I guess it scares away all the tourists, so don't get a lot of people in the winter. In the summer though, yeah, well it is summer now, but it does get better than this, I assure you.
It does.
I promise, and the beach is quite nice down there. Get a lot of tourists coming through. We can have up to 2,000 to 3,000 people staying in the town in one night. But yeah, hopefully summer arrives soon.
And it's a nice sort of walk across the bay there and then up the stairs.
Definitely, yeah. You can walk across the beach. You might have to take off your shoes to get past the little stream, and then you walk along these cliffs here.
Yeah.
Go to this little road there, and then you can walk back.
Yeah, that's an awesome walk.
Yeah, a really beautiful walk, yeah.
Yep. I did that when I was here last time.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that one a fair few times with family and friends and stuff like that. I live in Port Campbell, so I do that walk pretty regularly.
Yep. I've just moved down from Brisbane a year ago.
Okay, whereabouts do you live now?
Berwick.
Okay, yeah, nice.
And I just spent the weekend at Sandy Point.
Ah, lovely.
It's been a hard weekend.
Yeah, definitely. What was the reason for the move? Just work or something like that, or yeah, just wanted to move?
Just
bit
wanted
of a change.
to change.
Yeah,
Left everyone else in Brisbane and came on down.
Yeah, nice.
Yep.
Yeah, I used to live in Brisbane as well. I lived in Indooroopilly for about 4 years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yep, I was also on north side and then I moved to Mount Gravatt.
Yeah, okay, nice.
For work, so yeah, spent the last year there.
Yeah, cool.
Right next to the showgrounds.
Yeah, okay, yep, gotcha. Yeah.
Yep.
So this next feature is a bit difficult to see from the other direction, so I'll point it out now. It's that little archway just on the edge of the cliffs just there. So that one's called the Arch.
Yep.
And it's a little rock archway that's been formed naturally over the years due to the erosion, which is quite bad along this part of the coastline. As you can see, with all these heavy seas and strong winds smashing into the cliffs here, we get a lot of erosion happening. And you can see that with all these rock falls at the bases of the cliffs. Over the years, all the weaker rocks just crumble away, and that's how you get features like the arches there. And that's how everything along the coastline here has been formed over the years. The Apostles included. They all started out as part of the coastline. A little cave sort of develops, they turn into an archway like that, and then the archway collapses, and that's how you get those rock stacks just standing off the cliffs.
Ah.
So everything along this coastline has all been formed over the years due to the erosion. We'll just come around this little corner here. This is Point Hess, and on the other side of this is the London Bridge.
Have you been flying with the company for a while, or?
Yeah, I've been flying here for about just over 12 months now. So yeah, started around November last year.
Oh, it'll be a good job.
Yeah, it's a beautiful job. Like days like today make it a bit challenging, but yeah, it's a pretty nice office regardless. You sit up here and see all the beautiful rocks. This is the London Bridge here, guys. This little rock island just off the cliffs. So it used to be a double archway bridge which reached across to the cliffs just there before the second archway collapsed back in 1990. So it's just a single archway left standing there today. So it still gets called the London Bridge, but it is just the one archway.
Yep.
You'll get another look at that out the left-hand side on the way back. But we'll press on. We'll try and get to the Bay of Islands. I don't know about our chances at the moment, just with the way the rain is there. But we'll see how we go.
Where were you working before here?
I only got my license sort of around 18 months or 2 years ago.
Yep.
Before that, I was working in Canberra. I've been working on helicopters for about 10 or 11 years.
Nice.
And I was working not as a pilot, but as a winch operator on rescue helicopters.
Okay,
So,
cool.
yeah, it's pretty exciting.
That would have been, yeah.
Yeah. So worked out of Canberra on an ambulance helicopter there, and then worked up in Queensland or Brisbane on a Air Force search and rescue helicopter up there as well. So yeah, pretty good fun.
That would probably be a bit challenging at times.
Yeah, a bit challenging. Yeah, so I'm sort of used to seeing weather like this. We usually got called out into this sort of weather because this is when people get themselves into trouble.
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah, but not used to. I said I'm, I guess, used to being out in it, but I'm still getting used to flying in it. I guess.
Yeah.
Bit different. So we'll get a bit of rain on the windshield here, but we should be able to, at the moment, should be able to get through. It looks like it sort of clears as you go through, so it shouldn't be too bad.
Cool.
This little town we're passing here is Peterborough, another nice little quiet town. It's home to about, it's only home to about 170 people, so it's really quiet in there for most of the year.
With all the gear, you can take one of me.
So a lot of the time these houses here in Peterborough just remain empty, a lot of them, probably 90% of them, and they're only used as holiday homes for families to visit in the summertime.
Check that.
This little skinny cliff just sticking out, pointing towards us at the moment. This one's called Harrodale Point, and that leads us into the first bay. This is the Bay of Martyrs, with these handful of rock stacks just in here. The Bay of Islands, you can just make out the big rock stacks just up in the sort of the rain up ahead. That's the Bay of Islands up there.
Okay. So this is the Bay of Martyrs.
Bay of Martyrs, yeah, this one. So as we fly towards the Bay of Islands, this is where you can get a really good idea as to how the erosion sort of taken its toll on this part of the coastline over the years. Basically where all these rock stacks are, particularly the ones out to the furthest to the left at the Bay of Islands, that's where the coastline used to follow, and all behind that, in between all these rocks, was all solid ground. And over the sort of millions of years, I guess, that everything's sort of been here, all of the coastline has, or some of the coastline has been eroded away by the seas and the high winds, and all the weaker rocks in between these rock stacks have all been crumbled away, and just these rock stacks are all that remain of where the coastline used to sit. So
wow.
It gives you a bit of a better idea when you fly up above and sort of fly down this part of the coastline as to where it all sort of used to sit and how long it's taken for everything to be eroded back.
Amazing.
Yeah. Looks like we're going to be able to sneak in between a couple of showers here, so we got a bit lucky there. And
cool.
We'll see the bay, and then we'll turn around and head on back. I've given you a pretty big spiel, a pretty detailed spiel on the way here, just because it's going to be a lot quicker on the way back, because we will have the wind behind us. So I'll recap everything on the way back, but we will be travelling quite fast on the way back, just so you know. So we're just moving into the Bay of Islands here now. So this one has about 20 individual rock stacks in this one bay. So a lot more than the Apostles sort of area, but just not as big and iconic to look at as I guess. So the Apostles do steal all the thunder for all the tourists to come and visit, and they get all the publicity. So not a lot of people even know about the Bay of Islands back here.
No.
So they do get missed out on a lot of trips, which is a shame because it is quite a beautiful little spot here. If the Apostles weren't there, I'm guessing these would be just as popular as the Apostles would be, I reckon. I'll make a left-hand turn in just a moment. We'll head on back.
So where's Lockhart Gorge?
It's a bit further back. I'll point it out to you. It's right near Muttonbird Island, the island I pointed out before. And we get a better look at that on the way back. So I'll point that out on as we pass on the way back for sure.
And the grotto, that way too?
Yes, that way too. Yeah. So we'll go past those ones. I'll point out the grotto for you.
Because I only came down as far as Port Campbell last time. That was it. Hadn't been down any further.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Yeah, so just on this side of Port Campbell is the arch, the London Bridge, and the Grotto. They're the three major viewing platforms you can go see on that side. Definitely recommend that, as long as the weather holds out. Go and see those. They're all within about a 5-minute drive of each other, so you can knock all those out in about an hour and a half at the most. And yeah, definitely worth it. You're staying in Port Campbell at all, or are you just driving back today?
Driving back.
Okay.
Yeah. We can drive down again another weekend.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for sure. It's not too far.
No. I was here a few weeks ago with friends of mine on a Saturday. So we came all the way down.
Yep.
From Berwick. They got a helicopter flight, and I had them back on the plane by 7 o'clock to head back to Brisbane.
Yeah, well.
So it was cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so yeah, we'll see everything a little bit fast on the way back, but yeah, another beautiful view of the Bay of Islands there.
Wow. Yeah. It would definitely suck to have your office.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been pretty lucky ever since I left high school. I've worked inside helicopters and flown in helicopters, so I've had it pretty good, I think, with my office conditions.
Yeah. And it's a little bit different to a tiger moth too.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. There's an airfield. You can see sort of an airstrip just up ahead on the other side of Peterborough. There's an airfield there, and there's a guy who does like a big biplane open cockpit flight from there. It's not a tiger moth, but it's an old sort of agricultural sort of plane, and I went in that the other day actually just for something to do, just to see it a bit differently other than a helicopter. It was great. Loved it. Yeah, the open cockpit, the air, like the wind in your face, and all that sort of stuff. It was awesome.
So different. Isn't
it was nice and sunny as well, and
yeah,
nice, pretty calm winds. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been lucky enough to go in the tiger moth.
Yeah.
So, because we were associated with the Caboolture Warplane Museum.
Okay. Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, nice.
And I've been lucky enough to do the helicopter over Uluru.
Oh yeah, lovely.
And the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah.
I don't think I haven't done any other helicopter. Well, I've never really done a helicopter ride, to be honest. I've always just worked in them, so I've got just to see everything the way I've never seen the Ayers Rock, but from a helicopter. But yeah.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
I've flown all the way up the east coast, all the way up to Cairns in a helicopter, pretty low levels. That's been pretty cool.
Yeah.
Done a fair bit of cool stuff like that, but yeah.
Up over the Barrier Reef.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I've done that. Yeah, I've been up to the Whitsundays and flown around Airlie Beach and Hamilton Island and stuff. So yeah. Now the Grotto is that little car park just over there, where those little white vans are. That's the car park to the Grotto, and you can't really see it from where we are, but there's a little footpath that leads out from the car park.
Yep.
And then it goes down. It's actually really good today. You can see a little waterfall coming off the rocks just there. That's where the Grotto is. It's actually a little rock pool with an archway. And you walk down into a little cave with an archway there, with today with the waves crashing in, you'd be able to be filling up the rock pool and draining it. It'd be pretty cool to go down there today if you as I said, if the weather holds out, if you don't mind standing in the rain.
That's how I started my day.
Okay, this is the London Bridge here.
Yep.
So before the second archway there collapsed, you could actually walk out across the bridge there onto that island and get some cool photos. And there was actually 2 people on the island when it collapsed, or on that island when the archway collapsed, and they got trapped for about 3 or 4 hours. Had to be rescued by a helicopter.
Port Lonsdale this morning.
Yeah, okay.
And oh yeah, it's fine, no problem. I'll just walk down on the rocks and don't worry about that wave that just totally
Yeah.
Otherwise would have had jeans on.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah. So that's how I started my day.
Right. You're not the first person to have that happen to them. This beach we're flying along here is called 2 Mile Bay, and this one gets really big waves. So it's actually pretty well known locally for its big wave surfing, and the surfers come out from Port Campbell, and on the really big days they bring jet skis out with them. They actually get towed onto the waves on the back of jet skis.
Wow.
Right here on this little break to the left there. So yeah, really cool to see. I got to see that a couple of times from the air this year as we were flying around.
That would be awesome.
But yeah, they're pretty crazy though. Like they come out at 9 o'clock and it's 10 degrees in the water, probably less than 10 degrees with the wind on the outside as well. And they're out there from 9 o'clock and don't go in until it gets dark at about 5, so
Wow.
they just love it. And they're wearing thick wetsuits and they grow up here, so they're used to the cold, and yeah.
Yeah, so not.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I got in at Sandy Point.
Yeah. Yeah, I grew up in Victoria, but and I got used to. I was swimming like in winter with board shorts, and that's it in the beach. But then I moved to Queensland, lived there for a few years, and then I've gotten soft now. So
yeah.
I can't. I tried to get in the water the other day when it was like 25 degrees and in the air and a bit colder in the water, but I couldn't do it. So yeah, I'm no longer a Victorian, I think.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm a Queenslander too. I know where you're coming from.
Yeah, first time I jumped in the water in Queensland, it was like a bath. It was the best.
Yeah, exactly. But I find there's more bites and stingers and that up there, so I didn't go in very often.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got all that stuff up there.
Yeah. But yeah, Sandy Point was really nice. So
yeah, definitely would have been.
Yeah. So the girls were proud of me that I actually got in the water.
That's good. So this car park, you can see where all the buses are. That's the Lockhart Gorge car park.
Okay.
So you drive about 2 minutes or 3 minutes down the road, turn right out of the 12 Apostles car park, Lockhart Gorge. You'll see a big sign for it. You park there, and yeah, you can do a whole bunch of walks. There's a walk all the way out here to Broken Head, this little point of land here. There's a spot called Thunder Cave, the Blowhole, which might be doing okay today with the way the waves are.
Cool.
But yeah, Lockhart Gorge, named after a ship called the Lockhart, and actually had a shipwreck right on the cliffs of Mutton Bird Island here back in 1878. And so that's how it got its name, and it was a pretty bad shipwreck. There was only 2 survivors out of a crew of 54, so yeah, so that's how it sort of got a pretty infamous reputation, and that's how the Lockhart Gorge sort of got its name. Alrighty, so we're going to come past all the Apostles here. Going to go past a little bit faster than what we were on the way out, but this is Apostle number 1 here with the flat grassy top, largest of all the Apostles.
Yep. And
number 2, the pointy top there. Numbers 3, 4 and 5 are the 3 tall ones seen together there as a group. And then number 6 is just going to be hiding behind those. We'll pop its head out in just a moment. Very small with a little bit of grass on top, just popping its head out there now, right where the waves are breaking. And number 7 is the large one that's closest to the viewing platform up there. And that's it. That's all that remains today. So the pile of rocks in between 6 and 7, that's what remains of number 8, and that one collapsed in 2005. And yeah, that's all of them. And there's 2 other rocks just over on the other side here. They're not part of the Apostles. They have their own names. They're called Gog and Magog, which is another biblical reference name that's been given to them.
So how many of them are there left now?
There's only 7.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'll make a left-hand turn. You'll get a really good view of all the Apostles lined up along the coast at the left-hand side in a moment for a nice photo.
Nice. When Tracy came down, she hadn't even seen the Apostles from the ground.
Yeah.
So the first view was from up here.
Yeah, that was pretty similar to when I first came here to work. I'd never seen the Apostles, and then the first time I saw them was basically when I went up flying.
Wow.
And yeah, so I was doing my commentary, and I was like, oh, here they are. I didn't even know. Here's the Apostles. I'm seeing them for the first time as well.
Nice.
It's pretty funny. Now, we're going to head in for a landing, guys. Same thing again. There might be a couple of little bumps as we go in, just because we do have a bit of turbulence coming off the trees and off the building and stuff.
That's all right.
But it's all normal. But no, thanks for coming along, guys. Hope you really enjoyed the flight today.
Yeah, thank you.
And,
thanks, Andrew.
Oh, great.
The video I've recorded for you it'll be put up on the TV screen inside when you go in. And you can ask the staff at the desk if you want to purchase that one. It costs $45.
Cool. See, it's beautiful now.
Oh,
Yeah, it's hot.
Just like home.
That's it.
Everyone goes, that's true. It's like, no, there's no humidity. It's great. Loving it. Thank you, Lance. That was awesome.
That's okay. We're not quite on the ground yet.
Thank you. That was fantastic.
going to say, if you couldn't land it and you had to go back up, that would have been a different game too.
No worries. Alright guys, before you go, I'll just bring you up on the inside camera. Just give yourself a little wave goodbye to the camera to finish off the video.
Yeah.
And thanks guys, enjoy the rest of your trip, okay?
Cool, thank you.
Ed will just come and help you out to stay where you are.